Coach. Jared with the Daily News. Hope you and Mio and the boys had a good Christmas, first of all. But getting the fun stuff out of the way first, back at campus now through testing. And I know Charles was unavailable in the last game. But I guess heading into conference play, are you expecting to have everybody available?
Jared, expecting to. We've got 3 days yet to go. So got to get through another day of testing. We got to get through 1, 2, 3 more days of practice. So right now, we expect to, but hey, that can change, guys. Hey, that can change any moment. But I think the good thing, we all got back from Christmas, and I don't know if you guys write about this. I don't know if you're supposed to and can't. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but I'll talk about it anyway. Is it HIPAA? HIPAA laws and rules. We got through 2 testing. Everybody's been negative. Are we allowed to talk about that stuff? I haven't talked about it. You guys write about that stuff? Do you?
A little bit.
So
just kind of depends.
If I was to tell you we got through the first 2 tests, you guys going to write. Y'all going to write about it. You're going to say we got through the first 2 tests, correct?
Probably something about not having anybody unavailable through that.
Right now,
expecting to have everybody available.
That's probably a better way to have it. Right now we are. We got to get through, and we had our 3rd test this morning. We don't get the results back tonight. So right now we're expecting to have everybody available.
Heading into conference play, it's different this year. You guys get the same team back-to-back Friday, Saturday. You've played – I look at the conference tournament, 3 games in 3 days, but it's all against different teams. Going into this, I guess, how does your approach change from what it's been in years past and trying to handle 2 games against the same team on back-to-back days?
Well, Jared, we're going to do something that no players and no coaches, to my knowledge, have any experience at doing, ever. I played as many as 5 games in a row, back to back to back to back to back. These are all different opponents, though. Again, I've never played, the same opponent second night. Tournaments, we've all been in tournaments where you play a bunch of times. You play 4 games or you play 3 games. Everybody's done that. So you're asking me about something right now as a coach, never experienced, and as a player, players have never experienced. Psychologically, where is all that stuff at? Again, I know this. I don't pay a lot of attention in watching scores. But I think if you watch scores already across the country, some teams or some leagues that are doing this back-to-back stuff, you kind of look at it already and say, how in the world did that happen? And I'm going to give you a couple examples. I'm just going to give you 2 of them. Northern Iowa, and naturally Northern Iowa's without Green, without their point guard. They get beat at home 30 the first night. At home. They turn around last night. That team had just beat them 30. They beat them. Then there's Evansville. I think they've won either 1 or 2 games. They get blown out at Southern Illinois the first night. Blown out. And turn around last night and beat Southern Illinois. So does that have any effect on those outcomes of those games? Boy, I think we can all look at that and say, absolutely, it did somehow, some way. So it is going to be different. As I just told TV guys, we don't want to lose the first one to motivate us for the second one for sure. I mean, it's going to be no different for me right now. It's always been. Hey, you take them one at a time. You got 1 game, and you got to find a way to win that first one. You get to the second one, again. I don't have the knowledge of knowing what kind of effect it has, but I know as a coach and as a coach, they keep score. None of that stuff can matter. That's easier said than done. We all understand that. So it will be new. It will be different. You ask me this question a few weeks from now, I'll probably have a better feel for it.
Coach McCalgill, WKY Louisville. You've had some big wins already: Memphis, Alabama, near miss with West Virginia. What do you like about your team when it's at its best like that, and what would you like to see in the coming weeks?
Well, I think we've played really good competition at this point. I think our team's been tested in a lot of different styles, from Northern Iowa to Memphis to West Virginia to Louisville to Rhode Island to Alabama, even Gardner-Webb, all different styles. Some spread, some overpower you with size, and, good guard play. So we've had really good competition. I think the biggest thing for us is we've had really good depth. We've done it different ways with different people. We've had to play without Charles some. We've had to play without Hollingsworth against Alabama. Basically, he ended up playing 15 minutes for the whole game. So we've done it without different people or some of our best people at times. We've got good play off our bench. Davion, Luke, and Rawls off the bench have really been consistent for us. Different players, different nights. So that's the thing I like about our team. I think we got some movable parts, and I think we got some depth. And I say as always, I don't get caught up in who starts the game. Sometimes you start people based on seniority and experience and chemistry and rhythm, but that doesn't always mean that's your best 5 players or your best team. I think we have 2 different teams. I think Charles and Carson's one different team, and I think we're still trying to figure out a little bit more rhythm with that team. Then I think we play small with Josh at the 4 is a different team. So we got different ways of playing with different personnel. I think that's probably the best thing I like versus last year after we lost Charles. We had no other ways to play. We had no depth. We had no flexibility or versatility of how we played.
Coach Hunter Smith with WBKO, just how crucial is it to have that depth this season, especially now going into conference play when you guys are going to have to play back-to-back games?
Hunter, I think it's always important. It's probably going to take on another role this year, being more important, playing back-to-back. And just not the back-to-back physically, back-to-back mentally. We're yet to know how guys perform the second night playing the same opponent. Maybe if there's a guy on that bench hadn't played as much, maybe he's locked in differently mentally. So I do think it's depth's important every year, but it's even more important this year with the kind of schedule we're playing these back-to-back games.
Rick, this is Hayes Gardner with the Courier-Journal. I wanted to ask about Charles. Being injured as he was earlier this year, last year, and going through recovery during a pandemic would be tough, but it seems like he's recovered well. I know you worked closely with the training staff. I'm just curious if you could shed some light on what it was like for Charles this summer, and were you impressed with how he recovered?
Well, first off, to answer your last question first, I think we're all really impressed with the way he's recovered. There's no question he's better now than he was for a lot of reasons. Mentally, he's better, and physically, he's better. But while we were all quarantined from that March to June, and basically we were locked down. I mean, our school wasn't available. Nothing was available. But Charles had to be here. He spent every day with John, our trainer, and Coach Hall, strength coach. And he had plenty of time. They had plenty of time to concentrate on him. There's nobody else. And through all that time, he's gotten stronger. You can tell the way he explodes up now. He recores so much quicker than he used to. Used to be, he wasn't a quick jumper, but he's a much quicker jumper now. And he's more of an explosive jumper now than he used to be. And that's come from added strength. Then again, mentally, I just think he took a little pressure off of him. All the NBA stuff. I think now he's just playing. And I think the one area he's gotten better in is just his effort level has gotten much more consistent. And I think that's changed his whole game, both ends.
During that March to June time period, did you physically not see him that whole time pretty much?
Didn't see him the whole time, not once.
Were you able to keep in touch with them much, and were you giving them encouragement, things like that?
Yeah, we could talk on the phone, Zoom, all that kind of stuff. But no, we were totally quarantined. That's back when we were trying to figure this thing out a little bit. Everybody's locked down. There wasn't nobody coming around nobody. But Coach Hall and, like I say, our trainer John, those two guys that spent that time with him, man.
Coach Jared with the Daily News. Looking ahead to Charlotte this weekend, they've won 3 straight games, I believe 4 of their last 5. What do you know about that team? I guess what's the scouting report on those guys?
Well, here's all you have to know. They went to Davison and won. That's all you need to know. Well, Davison played North Carolina tight. Davison went to Rhode Island and won. So, they got 2 really good guards, Shepard and Young. Those starts right there with those 2 guys. They can beat you by themselves. They're going to be real methodical offensively. They want to turn it over and turn it over and turn it over. And they want to make the game in the 50s. They're going to play pack line defense, try to keep the ball out of the paint, defensively and offensively. They're a good team. They're a really good team. So we know it's going to be a challenge for us.
Looking back to last year's game, Charlotte had some timely shots, but if I remember correctly, you said after that game that you felt the team never really got in a flow. A lot of turnovers early, didn't make a 3 in the first half, kind of playing catch up. Is there anything you can take away from that one into this year's matchup?
Well, like you say, we played catch up the whole game. Just one of those games that, the first time Tavion, they get 30 against them. Second game, we didn't make some. They're gonna make you make some shots. And last year we couldn't throw it to the block at all, if you remember. It was all tacked outside in. Hopefully this year we can get in there some. Charles is much more a factor in there, defensively and offensively than we had last year with Carson at 5. And again, they played well. They made some timely threes, and that style they play, just a grinding style. So there's not a lot of secrets either end right now. Like I said, we don't need Young and Shepard to have careers against us. If they have careers against us, then it'll be a long day.
Anything else for Coach?
Coach, this is Hunter again with WBKO. Are you at all just concerned with having enough turnaround time between the first and second game to make adjustments? I know, again, in a few weeks you might have a better answer, but as of right now.
There won't be a problem with the adjustment you got to make from one game to the next. That's the easiest thing because it's the same opponent. The adjustments are easy, but where the adjustments at mentally now? That's the question none of us know. If you win that first night, where's that mental edge second night? What we're doing between the lines out there, we can tell them and show them and do all that pretty easy. But I think the unknown is just how people respond that second night, man. And you guys know in college athletics, hell, even in the pros, you guys follow NFL, how you look up and say, how does that team beat that team? It's just mentally. There's a mental edge. It's a fine line sometimes. And again, I think we're all just going to kind of learn about this fine line even going forward in a different way than we've ever had experience with it before. I've never experienced it, so we'll see.
Everybody good?
Good.